Hi guys, welcome back to Zaks Turf. Today I'm going to show you how to print directly onto wood. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to print directly onto wood using your favourite prints, photographs, even prints from negatives. So first things first, this is what you may need depending how you want to go about doing it, okay? So what I did first, okay, is I wanted to print directly off the negative. So you get one of these here. I've got the print I'll be doing, okay. All I do is I digitize it and I'll then put it on the computer and do some Photoshop on it. Okay, so if you've got your hands on that, you could do that. If you've got old negs, you could do that as well. So we'll see if it works. Okay, so before we get started, let's see what you may need. Label paper. Okay, so here we go here. So there's a label paper here. You take the labels off, and when you print, depending what printer is on that, you want to print where, once you remove the labels, on the top here. Okay, credit card if you own a credit card, or some form of store card. Any air bubbles that you get can cause major issues. If there's an air bubble, let's say if there's an air bubble here, or if there's a crease, this is where issues occur. So if you had an air bubble or a crease, and if there's a crease in the center there, then that part of the print will be completely gone. And you just got to be careful. I mean, I would start at the top or start at the bottom, however you want to do it, and then just do it slowly. Get your corners out of the way. Okay. Now Liquidex is something I've seen YouTubers using, and this one they've done shootouts, or they've tested this against various other ones, and this one came on top. Okay, so that's why I tried it. The reason I chose that, because everything's a lot more quicker. There is no waiting around when you're doing this. This is straight off the box, it's done, and it's done within an hour and a half. The other methods, they use something called Mod Podge. I think that's what it's called, if I've said that incorrectly, but the information is down there. And this was amazing. The Mod Podge was a failure. Okay, so right, so you could use this. You could use this as like a clear coat, and when you've done all your work, you could just finish the work off. It gives it a shine. Another thing you may need is going to be a ruler of some form. So then when you do your design and you want to go for the full size, you measure that all the information across there, put it into Photoshop or whatever software you use for to do all your photo work. Okay, and then you could do your measurements to the exact point. Okay, worst case scenario, you could also kind of print the edges if need be, if you print too big. So go to Photoshop. When you scan the image on that, scan the image at 300 dpi. If you scan at 300 dpi or create a file at 300 dpi, the quality of your photo or your print is going to be a lot more better quality. Once it's in there, okay, I would then adjust the levels. So I could adjust the contrast, the darks and the blacks. The center dial on this level is allowing me to do the contrast. I would up the contrast and get some strong blacks as well. Okay, and that will be just by doing level. So you are allowed to kind of do an auto. It does everything for you automatically. Sometimes that works for you, sometimes it doesn't. So you could do auto level, auto tone, auto color, auto contrast. The other thing that you will be doing, or you can be doing, is give it a different effect. There are so many effects that you could try with your print, like gradients. You could do give it like a liquid effect finish on it, but it's down to you how your Photoshop's going to be going. With me, I'm keeping the picture pretty much what it is and just adjusting it. In order to get a big print or get a really nice print, is to ensure that you save it at a high quality. Now I did one of mine prints at 10x8 at 300 dpi. If you go any lower, the quality goes down. So when you go in there, set your file up from start and say, right, I want 300 dpi and I want my print 10x8. Okay, so if you want to flip the image, depending what it is, well, this one doesn't really make a difference whether you flip it. If you got any kind of text, ensure you flip it, otherwise everything's gonna be the wrong way around. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now that's ready. Okay, if you could see it properly. Okay, but issue over here, where I was being a bit too rough on here, there's issues just by her headscarf here and over here where the print is completely gone, and areas here where the print is gone completely as well, and air bubbles at the top here which will cause a concern or may cause issues with the print on that there. But hopefully with all the wood grain or the wood finish on here, you could quite easily get kind of like a very, very antique piece. And when it's all done, you will need some sort of clear coat, okay, and to finish the print. And this is what you would use on here, or something you use on here. If you decide to use some people use something like a PVA, but from what I've seen, the spray kind of sprays more evenly. If you do not want a texture on it, so it depends on how you want to do it. So for example, when at the end you put your paintbrush across on your final coat, once it's all dry, give it plenty of time to dry, you will get the texture of the paintbrush, and I don't like having that texture on there. If you want that texture, then use a paintbrush or use a very large sponge, okay, because all the medium gel just dry clear, almost clear. Depending on what kind of medium gel you use, you may get a different tint, okay. So alright, so I'm gonna hopefully give this a few hours, and I'll see how it's going after a few hours on that there. Okay. Okay guys, now that was a really good project over here. Now let's look at the wood. The wood one was so easy to do. I found it was quite seamless to do. It was so easy to use the gel that I was using on. Now that was a popular one that everyone tested out, but I was really impressed. There were a few errors that I made. That's due to me. I was quite new to it, as well as this wood isn't quite straight and it's kind of a little bit arched. Okay, not the best on that. And as I said, this was a scrap piece of wood I've had lying around for ages. I did sand it down, all the edges. I sanded down all the edges over here. I think one of the mistakes I was trying to do was I was trying to do the four corners, and that's when the problems occurred. When I was doing that, then all the paper was getting caught and I couldn't remove it. It was completely stuck. There are a few errors on here where it looks like I've lost some of her face on the back there, on the front there, the reflection of her. Okay, any crease marks are on the bottom corner there. That's when you get crease marks, if you see that there. And there's another crease over here. But I do like the finish of it. It's like an oil painting, because that's the effect I was going for, oil painting. And I sharpened it up quite a little bit there as well. Maybe by using a different paper it may make a difference. If you want to support my channel, my link is below the Patreon page, and also buy me a coffee. Until next time, take care and bye.